Obviously this isn't a blind test for me, this is a blind test for you. It's just a little bit of fun, I'm not trying to make any massive point about it. Normally what happens with a blind test is that all the amps are kind of EQ'd and set in a very, very similar way. And this will pretty easily weed out which one the inferior amp is. But in the real world, you would hear things in context and they'd only be trying to sound like themselves. So that's exactly what I've done. I've EQ'd things after the fact, I've done different recording techniques, I've used different guitars, different levels of gain, different pedals in front of the amps, and things to really throw you off the scent. I want you to pick out which one you think is the practice amp, and also which one is your favourite, and then post down in the comments, and no cheating. So, you'll get these 4 clips, 30-40 seconds each, and I'll tell you what they are after you've heard them. One of the interesting things to come out of this for me was when I posted this to my Facebook. I got quite a few guitarist friends, some excellent players, and I asked them to basically just say which their favourite was rather than pick one amp from a lineup. I've done it this way for YouTube because I felt the title would look better. But when I asked to say, you know, what's your favourite amp, all of the people that commented were almost in complete contradiction with each other. So one person would say A was their favourite, and they took to sort of grading them 1 to 4 based on how much they like the sound. And where one person would say A is my favourite, the next person would say A is their least favourite, which shows you how subjective sound really is. And I think most people were pretty much picking based on the style of the playing in it, whether they actually liked what I was playing, almost as much as whether they liked the sound of it. I should probably tell you what those 4 amps were. So, the first one was a Bogner Alchemist, which is a 40 watt valve amp. Bogner made the Alchemist back in the 90s, I guess, and it was a sort of a joint venture with Line 6 in that it was a very cheap Bogner. because it was built in a Line 6 factory in the Far East, but it is a 100% Bogner amp. It does have Line 6 effects in it. I wasn't using them in that clip. There's a little tiny bit of reverb from Cubase after the event, and in front of it was a Voodoo Lab Sparkle Drive, which is basically like an 808 Tube Screamer style pedal. So I'm just hitting an already dirty channel with a little bit of Tube Screamer, and that's the resultant sound. The second amp was a DV Mark GH250. It's the Greg Howe signature model from DV Mark. This is a Class D amp, I guess, solid state. There's no modeling, it's just the amp. So in front of it I had my small fry burn unit and a Boss CS3. Again, the delays and the stereo panning was done in Cubase after the event. The third amp wasn't an amp at all. That was my Amplifirebox, which is just a modeling pedal. And in front of it I had an Echoplex Preamp. And that was it. That was the whole signal chain. I used the reverb from the Atomic and the slap echo. I think there was a slap echo on it. That was from Cubase. And the fourth amp was the transistor practice amp. They would go for about 20 quid on eBay. I've seen them come up. It's called the G Echo, or Gecko, I guess is what they're going for. So it's G-Echo, and echo is spelt like delay echo. Ironically, there's no echo in it. It's a completely dry amp. It does have some kind of modeled sound, I guess, in so much as it's got like a Marshall gain and a Californian gain, but I don't really know what that means. Maybe they're saying mezzo? I don't know. It doesn't sound much like a mezzo to me. But that was the setting that it was on. So I had a Boss CS3 before it and a TR2 Tremolo, because it doesn't have tremolo built in, or reverb. So the reverb and delay was from Cubase, but the gain that you're hearing, the slight breakup, is actually coming from this little practice amp. And it really is garbage. I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's a little sort of 1950s radio looking thing. But, you know, this is not this is not the piece of gear that everyone's going to be running out and buying. But in that instance, I thought it sounded pretty decent. When you take away the constant, as I have done here, there is no best, there is only different, and you start to judge something for what it is rather than for what it isn't. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a like, share, subscribe, any of that stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Later.